welcome back to the channel, and hi if you're new here. I'm Jade, and we are officially, right of this second of me recording, we are just over a week away from Onyx Storm. So yeah, here I am filming my intro to my Onyx Storm vlog before it's even out, because you know it is time for me to reread Fourth Wing and let me get it the right way up. Iron Flame. Just as a quick FYI for this vlog, I've got different things that, you know, I will do during this vlog, but I won't give any spoilers or anything about the plot until right at the end. So if you haven't read Onyx Storm when you start watching this video, you're safe, and I will tell you when to switch off and when spoilers could appear, because yeah, generally it's just going to be like you can see my reactions, and you know I want to talk a little bit about theories and things like that I have before I read it. So I will be filming that before I read Onyx Storm, but obviously I want to do my rereads first. So that's where we're at, and yeah, I am just so excited, and I hope some of you are really excited for this book too, because yeah, I love this series so much. Hey, for those of you that don't know, my covers for the books are obviously the British editions. I bought these when I lived in the UK. I now live in the US, so the annoying thing that is gonna bug my OCD is that my new one is not gonna match. But hey, I have to have the book, I have to get over it, and I know my friend will send me a copy of the British one if I feel like I need it. I feel like I just need to get past this and not be this person that needs them all to match, but I feel like a lot of you watching this will probably know what I mean here. So yeah, I've ordered the deluxe edition with the sprayed edges and everything this time because it's not gonna match anyway. So I thought, hey, why not? May as well, right? But yeah, now I've mentioned, you know, my OCD and that the books aren't gonna match, I think Tato, no one wants to see your butt. I'm gonna get on with reading, but I just thought I would stop in and film this a little bit right now. Okay everyone, I just finished my rereads of Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. And I've got to say, I cried so much more than I did the first time around. And I think it's because I'm that person that when I know something bad's coming, I just sob. Like, Liam's death was horrendous. But also rereading it, it's like amazing how much you realise, like, especially rereading Fourth Wing, you know, having the knowledge from Iron Flame, you know, you realise how many things you miss. And even like, if this is like a further reread for you, I think every time you read it, you just find new things because there is so much to this book. Books. I love them. I honestly think the series is just like one of my favorites, and it is the day before Onyx Storm. So I must say I read these a bit quicker than I wanted to. So I kind of saved the last chapter for today to read the day before. But yeah, I have loved rereading. But with Fourth Wing, I just love Andana and how sweet she is in this book. I mean, she's hilarious in Iron Flame as she grows up too, but I just love her in Fourth Wing. She's so sweet. I love the dragons. You know what I would love is like a like side novella like thing from their perspective, like about the dragons, maybe like a time before Violet and Xaden, but just like, I don't know, just like dragon banter, or maybe another time, you know. I don't think it's going to happen because I feel like because the dragons have so many secrets, obviously Rebecca Yarros can't really write them down, but maybe this could be like after the series is ended, she could just write a little thing with the dragons, because yeah, I just think it's so cute. But yeah, because the dragons have so many secrets in this world, obviously if we had a book from their perspective, we'd learn a lot more than we're probably supposed to, but I just think it would be a cute idea. Okay, so predictions for Onyx Storm. I don't have many just because I honestly think there are so many options. I will tell you one thing, and this isn't necessarily for Onyx Storm, but I do predict something's going to happen to one of the dragons, which I hate because you just heard I love them. The reason I think this is obviously Violet has 2 dragons. So in theory, if one of her dragons die, she won't. Surely, because she's bonded to 2. I mean, we don't have any like confirmation of that, but you would presume so. And also, now that Xaden is Venin, you know, we saw with Jack that he doesn't need his dragon anymore, so I guess Xaden doesn't need Segale, so I kind of feel all their lives are a bit at risk right now, which is kind of terrifying. So yeah, I kind of have a really bad feeling because I know Rebecca Yarros is not afraid to upset us. I have a really bad feeling that something's going to happen to one of them. And that's kind of, yeah, that's just scary. But I'm not saying in Onyx Storm. I think it'll be further on in the series, but that's like a future prediction. Obviously, Violet's signet is one of the main topics where people argue over what the signet could be. I think I've always kind of lent towards the distance wielding theory, just because, like, I kind of get the impression her signet would be something, you know, kind of unique and special. Although I did hear, I don't know how much truth this is, because I haven't looked it up, but that Rebecca Yarros said that it isn't anything like that exciting. And I kind of feel like distance wielding would be kind of exciting because that would definitely make her super more powerful. So I don't know if I'm right. I know a lot of people lean towards the whole truth sayer thing. The only reason I don't is obviously we have, you know, seen a truth sayer already in the series, you know, in the interrogation scene. And we also know that one of the riders is, you know, their equivalent of a truth sayer. So I just don't think that's going to be it. But, you know, I could be wrong. But yeah, I'm going to lean towards the distance wielding thing. But I know there's like a million other things out there, and who knows, you know? But I'm so excited to find out because I feel like this is the answer everyone's been looking for because, you know, we're told, oh, it's in Iron Flame, and still people can't work it out. I also think in Onyx Storm that Xaden's definitely going to draw from the ground again. I feel like he's going to stay Venin for this book. My prediction is that it will not get resolved in this book. I think they will look for a cure or whatever, but I don't feel they're going to solve it in this book. I just feel like the story arc would be really quick, considering this is a 5-book series. So I feel like it won't get resolved until the next one. But we will see. But yeah, they're just a few little inside thoughts. I could go on and on. I could deep dive this forever because I love watching people's deep dives. But, you know, I don't want to make this vlog 10 years long. And this is meant to be about Onyx Storm and reading it, not about all the predictions. But I had to include a little bit because I'm so excited. I can't believe it's tomorrow. Well, hey everyone, it is Onyx Storm Day. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've had a nightmare of a morning and therefore I'm just trying to be excited, but I don't actually have the book. So just in case, you know, you didn't pick it up earlier in the vlog, I moved from the UK to the US last year. I pre-ordered the book literally the day I think you could pre-order it, sometime in March. I think that was the day you could. And I made the mistake of ordering it from Amazon. So yeah, I ordered from Amazon. I have pre-ordered things from Amazon, not actual like massive books like this, but I have pre-ordered things from Amazon in the UK in the past and I've had like no issues. But I've learnt my lesson, don't do it here. It still says it's arriving today, but they haven't even shipped it, so it's not happening. I know it's not happening. So I got up at ridiculous o'clock to try and get the Target edition. Didn't get it, which I didn't really expect to. I was trying to reserve it, or even just any version from my local Target. I was like, if I do that, if I reserve it, then, you know, at least I can get the book today. Hang on, my cat wants a cuddle. He can get a little needy sometimes. So I thought I will just try and reserve any edition from my local Target. And then at least I know I can get hold of one. But my Target was out of stock for every single version. So to make matters worse, we had snow last night. It is -20 today, -20. I've never experienced anything this cold. And as a result, I cannot take my car anywhere. Not only do I only have my little car, but I just have never driven in snow ever. And as much as I really want this book, I'm like, I can't put my own life at risk and other people's because I don't know how to handle a car in snow, and let alone in temperatures with ice at like -20. I just know it's not a sensible decision. So yeah, I was like, if I can reserve one at Target, any type. My husband already lives, he lives with me. My husband only works about 10 minutes drive from Target, and he was like quite happy to go pick it up after work for me, and obviously they have none. However, Barnes & Noble say they have stock, so I have reserved one for collection, but I haven't had confirmation yet of whether, you know, I've definitely got it or if it's available or anything like that. So I'm still anxiously awaiting that, and so I don't really know if I'm gonna get the book today, but my husband said he will drive to Barnes & Noble and get it for me this evening if they do have it for me. It's kind of out of his way, to be honest. Like, Target is so close to where he works. Barnes and Noble, I don't know, I would say at least a 20-minute drive away, maybe a bit further. And you know, after a long day at work, so hopefully he can go get it for me, because he has a truck, you see, and he used to also live in Alaska, so he's kind of fine with this whole snow thing. But yeah, I'm just kind of riding on that. But you know, I'm trying to be positive. I put a tiny bit of makeup on to make myself feel better. I've put on my Wicked sweater so I can just feel cozy in this cold weather, and Wicked makes me happy because I love it. And yeah, I guess we will see if I get it today. I did almost give in and order the ebook, because I know some of you are probably gonna be like, well, why didn't you just order the ebook now? But I'm gonna be honest with you, I just love a physical book, and I did debate very hard getting the ebook, but I can't do it. I need the authentic experience. I want my first experience of this book to be the physical copy. I don't want it to be the ebook. I don't want it to be the audiobook. I just want to do that. And I'm sure some of you can relate. I'm sure some of you physical girlies out there know, or men. I'm not assuming you're all women. Yeah, so I've decided to be patient and wait. Oh my God, guys, I have it. My husband surprised me and he turned up with it at lunchtime. And not only that, he brought me a McDonald's because of the stress I had been through, and he wanted to make sure I ate some food before I started reading this. So just saying, girls, like, if your husband wouldn't do that for you, he's not worth it. But no, on a serious note, this book has just caused me so much stress, but I did manage to also get the deluxe edition, which is what Amazon were gonna bring me. I've now cancelled my Amazon order, but they've said they might not be able to because it's already prepared or something, but if not, you know, I can just return it, I guess. But yeah, I have it. So it is time to make a coffee or maybe tea, I don't know, make a hot drink, get a nice blanket because, as I've mentioned, it is -20 outside, and start this book. Okay, everyone, I am finally settled down. Coffee made. I went with coffee. I am more of a coffee girly, although I do like a good ginger tea. Book ready. Cat kind of settled down. He's a little playful right now. Yeah, my husband coming home kind of made him a little bit restless. But hopefully he settles because I've got my blanket on. Don't know if you can see in the camera, but it does have Christmas trees on. But it's my warmest one, and it's like, as I said, -20 outside. It's cold, and I just want to snuggle. So I picked it because it's the warmest. I did realise the window glare is like really in my glasses, so I apologise. But I'm just so excited to start reading this book. And yeah, I was debating showing you the first page, but I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not going to do that, just in case you haven't read it. But I will film myself reading on and off, probably not the whole time because that'll be many, many hours of footage for me to go through, but I will do this beginning bit, and then you can see my reactions to the opening of the book. Okay, I've read the prologue and chapter 1. There wasn't really anything I was shocked by, I guess you could say, but it's really, really, really nice to be back at Basgaia in, you know, my lovely imaginary world that I love to be in. So yeah, super nice being back. And chapter 1 does end on a slight cliffhanger, so I need to keep going. But yeah, I'm trying to read quite slow because I want to make sure I'm like taking everything in. So I'm not going to film like everything of me reading. And as I said, I'm not going to like give spoilers, but I'll just give like the odd update of things, how I'm feeling and that as I go along until we get to the end. But I'm just so happy that I have it because I have missed this world. Even though like doing the rereads was amazing, I was so ready for the next part. Okay, as you can probably tell, it's been a couple of hours. It's starting to get dark. I need to stop reading and actually, you know, make dinner soon. Sorry I'm not recording with my microphone. Hopefully there isn't too much ambient noise. It seems quiet right now, which is why I thought I'd do it. Because as you can probably see, I got my little Tato asleep here, and I didn't want to disturb him because then he'll want his dinner and whatever, and I wanted to talk to you first, but I put the microphone on charge for a bit. So I have made it through about 100 pages, end of chapter 11, that's where I've paused, and I am loving it so far. As promised, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but what can I say, like, without spoiling anything? I will say there are definitely some things that I wasn't expecting to happen. There are definitely things that leave a lot of questions, as you can probably imagine. I mean, I think all the books have left a lot of open-ended questions, hence all the theories. There is some really good humor in the book at parts, and there is definitely a lot of drama. And yeah, it's got everything good. It really gets right into the story and the action. The only thing I will say, and it's not like a criticism, but there are a lot of characters in this beginning part. There is a lot of politics, and it's crazy, and it just takes that little bit more thought, I think, to like follow what's going on compared to the first two books. I think there's just so many characters in it now, and you know, all the different sides with, you know, Navarre and then Arisha and the Flyers, and yeah, so there's just a lot. But yeah, I'm loving it so far. I was hoping to get to about 200 pages today, but with the stress of everything and whatever, I'm very tired, and I kind of want to be able to like take in the book properly. So I think I'm going to pause now because I need to make dinner anyway, and then I will really get into it tomorrow when I'm more awake, because I don't want to do it as I get more and more tired, because I love this series so much that I just want to absorb everything, because, you know, I feel that's what this book deserves of me. Good morning, guys. It's day 2 to read Onyx Storm. I wanted to start reading earlier, but this little thing, he gets a little bit excited in the mornings. Now he's taken a bath, but I've managed to settle him down this far now after playing with him for sort of like an hour to tire him out. I got up, I did my morning workout, although right now I've actually hurt my back a little bit. It's almost better, but I don't do full-on workouts, but I basically do 20 minutes of stretching as my workout at the moment in the morning. So I did that, showered, had breakfast, got myself ready, tired him out a little bit. So I'm hoping this will at least calm him down so I can read a little bit this morning. But yeah, I am excited for day 2. I keep seeing, so I'm in like a online book group, and it's on Fable. So, you know, if you don't know about the app, they split everything into chapters, so you can kind of comment on things as you go through, and you won't get any spoilers because you just don't read anyone's comments on the chapters you haven't read, obviously, or like their final thoughts. And a few people in the group now have already finished the book, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so far behind. But I'm glad I did stop yesterday. I was so tired, and we'll see how far I get through today. I mean, I don't expect me to finish the book today, because I do want to just like take it all in and enjoy it and really let like the storyline sink in, because I do think there is a lot to this one. But yeah, I am excited for day 2. I don't think I'm going to film much of me reading today. I don't think I'm the most expressive reader unless something really shocking happens, maybe. So filming the beginning wasn't that probably exciting, but you know, you get a little time lapse of me reading. Yeah, I will obviously film me reading the last bit of the book, because I assume there's going to be some kind of like shock factor cliffhanger or something, a bit like there was with Iron Flame. So I'll probably do that. But yeah, for now I'm going to get on with reading the book, and I'll give you like a brief update sometime later today to let you know where I've got and everything. And yeah, well, good morning everyone. It's officially day 3 of reading Onyx Storm. But I just want to say I'm sorry I didn't do like a what I'd read kind of video yesterday, even though I obviously don't give spoilers. But I kind of lost track of time, and then I was suddenly like, oh my god, I'm never gonna have dinner done. So I just had to move. But yeah, I think I've settled this one down enough that I'm gonna be able to read a little bit this morning. Typically, I just never read in mornings, because this one always wants attention and to play, because he just always sleeps afternoons and evenings. Mornings are his like crazy time, but I've done my morning workout, had a shower, Played with him for about an hour to sort of get some of his energy out. So hopefully I can read at least a few chapters this morning, and then this afternoon I'll really be getting on with the book. I'm about 2/3 of the way through now, I think, and oh my god, it ended on such a cliffhanger where I stopped yesterday, but I was just like, I don't have time to continue, and I was like, oh my god, but I was like, that's probably a good thing. So I really anticipate reading today, and I'm just excited for it, you know. So yeah, there has been a lot going on, and once again, I just think this book nails it with the humor. I am enjoying it so much so far. Like, it's great. I don't even have words. Like, I don't obviously want to spoil anything right now. So yeah, I'm gonna get on with reading. I might finish today, but I don't want to rush myself. It just depends how active he is and, you know, what the day brings. But yeah, I might finish today. If not, I definitely will finish quickly tomorrow, I would imagine. But yeah, I kind of don't want it to end because then I know we'll be waiting ages for the next one. But yeah, okay, I'm gonna read now. Okay, I did actually manage to read a little bit this morning. Tato, I got his energy out, and then he did let me read for like a little bit. So I've only got about 100 pages to go now. Just had lunch. And there's a lot of things that I've been right on, wrong on, you name it, and bits that I feel like still need a lot of answering. And yeah, but I am loving it still, and I'm anxious to read this last bit. I'm not gonna lie, but I think it is time. Um, as I get near the end, I will turn the camera on so you can see any of my reactions to the end, because I feel like that's obviously going to be the most dramatic bit, and I assume we're going to have some kind of cliffhanger because, you know, it's Rebecca Yarros and we're on book 3 of 5. So yeah, time to get started again. I literally put the book down for 1 second to set up the camera to film me reading the end, and this happened. So yeah, I am nearly at the end, and that feeling of I want to know what happens, but I don't want it to end is extreme. This has been a journey. I have laughed, I have cried, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen in these next pages because I feel like Rebecca Yarros always shocks us, and yeah, I guess it's time to find out. Okay. I did not see that ending coming. That's all I'm going to say. Kind of, you know, what I expected in terms of a cliffhanger and something dramatic, and also having something happen that I wouldn't see coming. But yeah, and now we've got to wait ages to find out, and yeah, I need a moment, I think, just to gather my thoughts. I kind of want to reread that last chapter and just get it all in my head. Yeah, this is kind of, I think, where I end the vlog without spoilers. And I think I'm going to take a break, maybe later today, maybe tomorrow. I will film just my general thoughts and talking about the book, which will include spoilers. So don't watch the next part if you haven't read the book. But yeah, that's all I can say right now. Okay, it's the next day. I've given myself time to process, and I also reread the whole of the end of the book, like from when the battle began, because I felt like there was so much going on, and I was like, I need to like reread and digest this, and I still feel like I probably need to do it 10 times over to really nitpick at everything. I kind of really need to reread the book like a million times over, because I was considering doing a bit of a deep dive into the book, but I'm not sure because I feel like there is so much. If you would like to see that, let me know, and then maybe I will. But like, this bit's going to be like a little bit of a mini deep dive in this fact that I'm going to briefly talk about my thoughts and a few theories I have after reading the book and everything. So, yes, this is the part, just in case you didn't gather from the last clip, this is the part where the spoilers come. So please turn off if you haven't read it. I feel like most of you, if you're watching this, you would have read the book now. But yeah, this was a wild ride, and the cliffhangers are way worse, in my opinion, than Iron Flame ever was. Like, Iron Flame was like, oh, Zayden's venom, but you know, you kind of assume, well, they're gonna come up with something. I mean, I was right. He did not get his cure in this book, and I did say that. I said I don't think Zayden will get cured in this book. I feel like it's going to be the next one. I That is a prediction I definitely have. Is I feel like they will find a cure for him in the next book, and then the fifth one will be like finally winning, I guess. Um, you know, because being 5 books, I think that makes sense. Also, now that Zayden has turned to an ASIM, yeah, that leads to a whole load of complications. So I feel like the cure has to come sooner or later. Otherwise, I feel like it just wouldn't happen. So there's a few things I'd like to talk about the book, but let's just get on right with that main cliffhanger that, Violet and Zayden are now married. She doesn't remember. She clearly didn't want to remember, which is obviously to do with keeping him safe, I think. Not wanting to be able to be interrogated or anything or have any knowledge of where he is so that she can't accidentally leak that anywhere so that he is safe. And we obviously also learn there are other riders missing, which I've kind of concluded is presumably Zayden with Arik, Garrick, and Bodhi, because presumably Bodhi's not around because we now have Violet leading Tyrandor, because presumably that's why they got married. That's how I see it. He said, it's yours. I think he's talking about Tyrandor, the kingdom that is now hers. I say kingdom, it's not kingdom, is it? It's like, because he's a duke. You know what I mean? That province is now theirs or hers. Yeah. So obviously, the other big elephant in the room with this whole scenario is we're told he has a new brother. And I think instantly, like, your brain goes towards Bodhi, because it's like, oh yeah, everyone says they look like brothers. So wouldn't it be like ironic that, now he turns venom, so they kind of are brothers under the same sage, um, you know, uh, but I don't think it is Bodhi. I think Bodhi is with the group, but I just think it's too obvious. I think there's another reason that they've given Violet the Violet Tyrandor and got her to rule it. I think it's Garrick that has changed, because Zayden says something about you're the least likely person after watching me suffer for 5 months, that I thought would turn. So at first I thought, oh, Dane. I think it's Dane because he'd be the least likely person. But then he is actually mentioned when Zayden draws again and the shadows happen. We are told that the shadows like trap Dane and his dragon against a wall or something like that. Like, there is a mention of Dane. So I was like, yeah, and also Dane hasn't known that Zayden was a venin, so he wouldn't have been watching him suffer for like 5 months. So I think it's most likely Garrick, because Garrick's been the whole, oh, Zayden's dangerous. We really have to watch Zayden. Like, he's been so paranoid about Zayden being venin that I feel like he's the one that then actually drew, because that seems kind of unlikely because he was so like, oh, Zayden's venin. Yeah, so that's what I think. But I could also be Arik. But I think Arik has taken the dragon eggs and negotiated a deal with one of the other isles to keep Zayden hidden and safe. I think that's why the dragon eggs have gone missing. I think Arik has, now that we know he can, see things from the future, I think he's gone and made some kind of deal. And he's, part of that group. but I don't think he's the one that's actually turned. I just don't think that's very likely, but it's possible. Of course, though, anything could happen. Let's face it. Like, I was wrong with the second signet. Of course. So I thought I was going to be distance warding. We found out pretty quickly that Garrick was a distance warder. So I was like, okay. I do wonder if Rebecca Yarros wrote that in there, knowing everyone was thinking, oh, Violet might be a distance warder. And I feel like she kind of threw that in there and was like, nah, let's make Garrick one. And so it's like, nah, Violet's not it right near the beginning, but we still had to like wait. And then quite a bit happened in the book where people's signets were getting like suddenly stronger. Mira could start like producing stronger wards around them. She couldn't just extend them anymore. We have the scene with the orange, which is kind of funny anyway. But we learn that Riddock can freeze the inside of an orange. And he's like, and there is a discussion that it's like most ice warders can't do that it's like something that's very rare. So his has suddenly grown in power. And I think there was another scenario, but I can't remember it now, which like someone suddenly got stronger. And they're all people close to Violet. So I was like, she's an amplifier. She can amplify other people's signets and make them stronger. And I was convinced. I was like, at this point, because it happened too many times where like people that are close to her suddenly got stronger. And I was like, that's what it's going to be. But then obviously it wasn't. It was a Dreamwalker. Which I think is quite exciting still. Like, I know a lot of people say, oh, it's mundane, but I think it's quite exciting because I think it could be very, very powerful. As she learns to do it, she's getting inside someone's head, and when you dream, it all comes from your subconscious. And so she can learn a lot about people, what they've experienced, etc. And they often dream about things that have happened to them. And I feel like it could develop a lot further, like as she gets stronger. And I assume she'll be able to consciously go into people's minds. Rather than just in dreams. But I guess we will see. But I don't want to do too much of oh my god, what if this thing video, because as I said, I can do that. If you want me to deep dive and go in a bit more into theories, if people are going to be interested, I might do it, but obviously it's going to take a lot of time on my side because I definitely want to do rereads, make notes, and so I want to spend time to make sure that's as good as it's going to be, and something I don't want to do if people aren't interested. Just about the book in general, I love the fact that this book has, I would say, much better humor than the first two. I just think that this one is just a step up on it. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with the past two books, but I just feel like this one, I think because we got to see more of Riddock, and he's obviously quite a funny character. And then also the dragons, again, with their usual banter. There was a line where Ten says to Andana something about, oh, pick your tail up off the floor, we're not in the veil, or something, and that made me laugh. There was some really good, funny moments, and that's what I love about this book. Sort of, as I said, can make you laugh and cry, and it's great. For me, the saddest storyline through this whole thing, sort of trail of the storyline, was the whole thing with Andana and how she got rejected by the Irids at the beginning, basically saying she's corrupted by Violet and the Empyrean and everything, and that she's no longer what they stand for and no longer peaceful, even though Andana's so sweet. It's of course she's been raised differently, give her a break. And then when she actually then leaves Violet, when that Irid comes looking for her, and she does choose to break the bond and leave, oh my god. But yeah, that was by far the saddest part in the book for me. And Quinn's death was sad too, but I feel like we don't get no Quinn as well as some characters, so I think we could have had a lot more deaths or a lot sadder. And obviously we had Traeger's death, again, not a character we super know, but yeah. Oh, and the when Traeger died, all those random things they got given. Broccoli, so cute. Why was he not mentioned again? I mean, I guess that he's obviously safe in Orisha and whatever, but I just feel like they could have incorporated Broccoli a little bit more because, I love cats, and that was a bit disappointing for me, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, and then I'm gonna guess the compass is obviously, it's gonna be a bit like Pirates of the Caribbean. It's not gonna point north, it's gonna point to something else. Maybe it will be Violet's way back to Xaden or something, I don't know. As I said, I don't want to get into too many theories here. I just kind of want to give my overview of the book, and I just think there are so many threads and so many things to think about that I love it. And obviously Violet's hair, the link to the whole goddess thing, there is so much in this book. And I do think there is a lot to theorize on, but I do feel like no one's really going to know. We are going to have to wait for the next book because, you know, there was a lot of theories about this one, and I feel like a lot of them are wrong. There were some that were right, but I do feel like some of it was definitely wrong. And yeah, there's just so much. I am so excited for the next book. I really, really want it. I wish I had it now, but I do hope Rebecca Yarros takes the time to write it and doesn't feel pressured and does it in her own time. So, you know, it's as good as it's going to be. I don't want her to, you know, put any pressure, because I have heard reports about her feeling pressured. I don't know how true that is, but I feel sad that any writer feels like that. Of course, we all want the book, and I feel like they should be proud that we're all anticipating it. But I feel like if anyone actually gives abuse about how long it takes, then that reader doesn't deserve it. Sorry. But yeah, there is a million things I could say about this book, but I loved it. I'm rating it a 5-star along with the other books. I know some people criticize the sex scenes and then were like, oh, I don't think it's as good because the sex just wasn't. Well, to me, the series is not all about that. And while I loved them in the first 2 books, because I'm not a reader that like seeks out smut, but I'm definitely not against it being in my books. And I loved it in the first 2. But honestly, in this one, even though it is in there, I think the reason it's not so good is you're anxious that Xaden's going to draw, you know, and make himself worse. And we know that, you know, so like sex is like an anxious thing in this book. And I think that's why it just doesn't have the same impact. But it can't. Like, for the story to develop, we needed that. We need this whole like Xaden's losing control thing. So yeah, I still rate this 5. I loved it, and yeah, I can't wait for the next one. And as I said, if you do want me to do a deep dive, I don't mind doing a lot more research into the book and coming up with a lot more coherent things, because I've kind of just been spewing my thoughts after I've read it to you. And there's a lot more. Regardless, I hope you've enjoyed watching this, and I hope you really loved Onyx Storm as well, because presumably I would think most of you have if you are at this point of the video. And yeah, I will see you again for another video real soon. Bye!